Hi, Shannon Austin here with another episode of Public Works Update. Today we're going to show you a few projects that aren't maybe necessarily that visible to the traveling public. Stay tuned. Hey Sioux Falls, our first project stop today is up on the northeast part of the city, and we're near Sycamore Avenue and 60th Street North. Now we have a few projects going on. In fact, there's a lot of projects actually going on in this neighborhood, but not necessarily impacting traffic directly. So we welcome to the show Ben from Howard R. Green. Ben, welcome.
Hi, Shannon.
So we're going to start with work that's going on Sycamore Avenue. So between Benson Road, it's the east side of the interstate, Benson Road up to the water reclamation facility. Just been a really tough up and down gravel road. Tell us what is going to happen this summer.
So on Sycamore Avenue, we will be replacing the water main, which is a big part of the project, going from 12-inch to 16-inch. And along with that, we will be regrading the road and paving it. Right now, like you mentioned, there is quite a bit of up and down. In the middle of the project, we'll be cutting down around 20 feet of road profile. So in addition to the grading and paving and water main, putting in some new storm sewer crossings.
Okay. So we've heard on some of our other projects in the last few months that contractors are having a hard time getting the water main materials. Is that a concern with this particular project?
A little bit, but the city did have the foresight to order a lot of material, a lot of fittings, a lot of pipe early in January.
Okay.
But we are still looking at the end of July before the last of the materials come in.
Okay.
So
that water main work probably won't happen until that time, the end of July, you think?
Correct.
Okay.
Mid to end of July.
Okay.
Yep.
So the work that's going on right now, it looks like they have started some grading. So what is that? Is that all they're doing is just grading the grade down now?
Yes, so there is a DOT project in conjunction with this one. Separate project, but in the same area, 60th Street North, crossing I-229. And the DOT contractor is grading part of the Sycamore Avenue project and using that dirt, that material for the 60th Street North crossing.
Oh, so that's wonderful city and DOT coordination there.
Correct.
Excellent. So, so the bridge is actually closed to traffic, but it's open for the contractor to bring the dirt over?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it's closed as of early June, and it'll be closed until July of 23, so a lengthy stretch there.
Oh, next year. So
Correct.
How come such a long time?
So it does take a while to grade it, to build the bridge. They're replacing the entire bridge, so it does make it very difficult to maintain traffic across an existing bridge and building new.
Okay. So the interstate traffic on 229 will still be allowed to go north and south, right?
Correct. There will be, as I understand it, some crossovers periodically and potential some night closures while they set some beams and girders, but minimal impact from the way I understand it.
Well, we certainly want to remind our drivers the road is closed, and for the drivers that go around those barricades, they could get a ticket from our law enforcement for doing that, couldn't they?
Correct.
Yeah. So we just want them to stay off of that road.
Correct.
Very good. All right. So another project that is in the area is the law enforcement center. So that won't be impacted by the construction because that has access over to Veterans Parkway, right?
Correct.
Yep. So that project I think will be open in the fall of 2023. And then one last project that we have going on is Bonson Avenue from Benson up to 60th Street North. Can you give our viewers just a quick update on that project?
Sure. So that is being completed by the Development Foundation.
Okay.
And is anticipated to be done this year as well.
Okay. So there's just a lot going on in this area.
That's right.
So what will Sycamore Avenue look like once our project is done?
So it'll be what we call a rural section roadway. So there's no curb and gutter except in very minimal areas. For the most part, it'll be paved, 2-lane with ditches on either side, and there are turn lanes in certain locations as well, left turn lanes.
So then will that connect then to the existing pavement on Benson Road?
We are doing a separate project to pave from essentially the guard entrance where the pavement ends to Sycamore Avenue, and then from Sycamore Avenue north to 60th Street North.
Wow, so 5 or 6 projects going on this year. And then anticipation, so next year is the DOT and the city's Benson Road and 229 project. So there's just a lot of work going on
That's
up
right.
here.
A lot of coordination.
Very good. So anything else you want to tell our viewers about the project?
I don't think so. I
So-
think you about covered it.
So this will be totally closed to traffic though, right?
It will.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. All right, well, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Shannon.
Well, our next update is over here on Arrowhead Parkway and 6 Mile Road. We welcome to the show Chris. Chris, we talked to Krista last show, and the project had not started yet, but looks like we're full under construction now.
Yes.
So what has the contractor been working on for the last month?
The last couple of weeks, we've been working on sanitary main line. Hopefully we get that done the next week or two and on the new 6 Mile. And then after that, we'll get into the water main along 6 Mile.
So mainly the city utilities is kind of the main focus?
Yes, in
Okay.
this area. And then north of Arrowhead they're still kind of working on grading and getting
Okay.
that ready for utilities.
Okay. So a lot of the impact now on the traffic, there probably really isn't one, is there?
Not a ton, not yet anyways. And here in a couple of weeks, we do plan on hoping that we can shut down 6 Mile. And after we shut down 6 Mile, we'll have 35 days to get all the work completed.
And that is to do drainage? Or what work will be done then when you close 6 Mile Road?
It will be utility work again. So
Okay.
we'll be throwing sanitary and water main along the existing 6 Mile, excuse me.
Okay. So then Arrowhead Parkway will still remain open?
Yes.
When that 6 Mile? Okay. And when can our drivers that are driving the speed limit through the construction zone, when can they start to see the actual new alignment of Arrowhead Parkway? Is the contractor working on that already or not yet?
The substantial date of completion would be August 12th, right before school there.
Okay. So it'll start taking the shape over the next few months then.
Yep.
Great. And have you had any trouble with vehicles speeding through the construction zones or?
Not entirely, or not yet. We're waiting until we get to the existing 6 Mile, but we're hoping once we get there, everyone will still follow the speed limit and everything.
Yeah, we probably want to make sure we get a hold of our law enforcement folks. Huh?
Right.
And just as a reminder, all of the businesses adjacent to Arrowhead, you can access them off of the existing
Yes,
Arrowhead?
and when 6 Mile is closed, we will maintain access for the businesses along the existing 6 Mile.
Okay. All right, so not a whole bunch of new stuff going on, a lot of grading, but we'll certainly be back in a month to check on your progress.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next update is right in the center part of the city on Cliff Avenue from 26th Street down to about 38th Street. We welcome back to the show Michelle. Michelle, you just love the concrete streets, don't you?
Yes, concrete streets. They need some attention. Yes.
So what is going on this portion of Cliff Avenue?
So yes, we do have a concrete rehabilitation, which entails full depth repairs, partial depth repairs, and then we're also updating all of the ADA ramps at all of the intersections and at the corners at the intersections.
Okay, so let's first start with the concrete partial depth. So compare this portion of Cliff Avenue to our Kiwanis project that we had interviewed you, I think it was just
Yes,
last year, right?
Yep.
So why wouldn't you use the same technology on Kiwanis as you do on Cliff Avenue?
So the partial depth procedure is the same out here as it was on Kiwanis.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
And last year, in fact, I just went out a couple days ago. We had a warranty inspection on the Kiwanis job, and it looks great.
Good, great.
Looks
So
really
something
good.
that we did is
Something
yeah.
is going well.
Wonderful,
yes,
wonderful.
Yes. So yeah, the partial depth technology allows us to do a very viable fix to a concrete road and have it be less expensive than a full depth repair and or a total reconstruction.
So partial depth is just probably what it sounds. You don't go all the way through.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. We don't go all the way through. Generally, it's about 2 inches deep, and right at the very bottom of it, it might dip down to 3 or 4 inches deep. But yeah, it's partial depth of the concrete. Yep.
So this concrete street, is it 8 inches thick? Is it 12 inches thick, or what?
It is
what-
8 inches thick.
Okay.
It's about 27, 28 years old.
Okay.
Has not had a lot of work done on it, so it is in good condition considering how old it is. So this works very well. We've got areas where we're doing the full depth repairs, and the partial depth repairs fit in as kind of a moderate fix.
Okay.
And we expect to get 15, 20 years out of that partial depth.
Oh, wonderful. So that would certainly be nice. And then at that stage, will you totally reconstruct?
It would generally be scheduled for reconstruction,
Okay.
yes. Because what happens, the partial depth repair will probably be in good shape yet. The
Okay.
rest of the concrete on the street would not be in good condition.
Okay. So we see a lot of these repairs happen at joints. Is that where they're supposed to be, the repairs?
That is typically your weakest spot
Okay.
on your concrete street. Yep, that joint, the joint sealant fails for some reason, whether it's old or it gives up. And all the chemical that we use, the de-icing chemical, salt, sand, water, gets in that joint. Freeze-thaw action here in South Dakota, that's what happens is the joint fails.
Okay. So then at the intersections, we are doing some ADA improvements. Kind of explain what those will entail.
Sure. Whenever we do a street construction project, we are required to update the ADA corners, the ADA panels.
Okay.
What that usually entails is they're too steep right now, so we'll have to lower them down, make the cross slope accessible, no more than 2% cross slope. And then another thing we're adding is we are adding the APS buttons, and those are the ones that give the audible sound for somebody who's visually impaired.
Oh, at the traffic signals.
At the traffic
Oh,
signals.
wonderful. All right. So, boy, that'll be a nice addition to the corridor
Yes.
then.
Yes.
All right. So these projects certainly have a history of really frustrating drivers because we're taking 2 lanes of traffic. We're keeping it open to traffic, but right now the contractor's working on the southbound lanes. When do you anticipate that the southbound lanes will be constructed and be finished and they'll switch over to the northbound lanes?
So right now the schedule, weather permitting of course, we should be done with the southbound lanes by the end of next week.
So that would be like mid-June?
Yep.
Okay.
And then we will switch over and we'll start at the south end, which is down by 38th Street, and we'll work in the northbound lanes.
Okay.
So there we will have traffic. Instead of being in the 2 northbound lanes head to head, they'll be running on the freshly repaired concrete on
Okay.
the southbound lanes.
Do we anticipate that the project will be done before Lincoln High School starts for classes?
Yes, that is
Okay.
the goal. The completion date is middle of August, and indeed before school starts.
Okay. So certainly with construction zones, we have speed limits of 25 miles an hour. How have the drivers been through the area?
They get very impatient.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of construction in town, and yes, we do see that the drivers are impatient, and we do see a lot of speeders through this construction zone.
Have you seen our police folks out here and writing tickets?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes, and so thankful that they are making their presence known out here, because it becomes a safety hazard
Absolutely.
for everyone.
So I know that we've also talked internally at engineering that we may actually do another overlay to the
Yes.
north of 26th Street. Can you
Yes.
kind of just give us an idea? Will that happen this year or not quite for sure yet?
So it's not for sure yet. What it is going to entail is from 11th Street to 26th Street, and anybody who drives Cliff knows that that is a pretty rough stretch of road.
Yep.
So we are planning on an asphalt overlay. So we'll go through and do some curb repairs and then do the asphalt overlay. They're going to mill the concrete surface 2
Okay.
inches down on the edge so they can match up with the curb and gutter, and put on, it's going to end up being about a 2-inch overlay then with asphalt. And so yes, as with any construction project, we're also then going to, because we're improving the roadway, we need to improve the ADA ramps as well through that area.
Okay.
And fingers crossed that we can get that done yet this year.
Perfect. So ultimately, and I'm looking forward because I'm actually working on the Cliff Avenue and Interstate 229 interchange, which is planned for 2025 and 2026. We'll have a nice smooth road on Cliff Avenue all the way.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you'd like to tell our viewers about the project?
It's going very well. Be patient with us. You may not see the progression that is happening, but yes, it is going along very well.
Very good advice. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we are over on the west side of the city on one of my favorite projects, the 49th Street extension from western to west. We welcome to the show Chad Hanish. Chad, we haven't talked to you for a while.
Hi.
Hi. So excited there's concrete. Yay, on 49th Street.
It's always a good sign.
It is a good sign.
Yep.
So when can we drive on it?
The contractor's thinking they'll have it open to traffic around July 4th.
Okay, so wonderful. And then, so there's a lot of work still to be done back of the curb, is that right?
Yeah, a lot of cleanup work, traffic signals, lighting, some approach pavement, pavement marking, signage, and some of the landscaping.
Okay.
Yep.
So with the traffic signals, are those going up yet? Are we waiting for materials, or are those?
They are waiting on materials a little bit. They hope that it's all coming in and they're going to be able to meet that July 4th, which is actually 2 months ahead of schedule.
Okay. And right now, it just goes to west,
Yes.
which I'm a little disappointed about.
Yeah.
But talk to us a little bit about the next phase, which would be from west over to Grange.
Correct. Yep. The next phase would be west of Grange. Tentatively planned for either towards the later part of next year or the year after that.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we have, and that's through the New Star property, right?
Yep.
So we have to purchase additional right of way.
Yeah, right of way is the big key there, is getting that additional right of way. So if the right of way was able to be secured early enough, then potentially next year.
Okay. So ultimately then, when can our drivers expect to see 49th Street all the way over then to Minnesota?
It'll be a little while yet,
Okay.
mainly because of the exit 3 interchange. We don't necessarily want to make that final connection until that interchange is done.
At Minnesota, right?
At Minnesota,
Yep.
yes. And so that's out there the 28 time frame.
Okay.
Yep.
And so that interchange, we haven't had a public meeting on that for a while, but I believe it's a single point
Correct.
is the preferred design.
Yep.
And then what are we doing on Minnesota Avenue from like the interchange up to 41st Street? How many lanes are we looking at?
There is 3 lanes in each direction, so that'll be expanded to accommodate that traffic better.
And then we do have that center median
Correct.
on Minnesota.
Yep.
Because whenever we do those 6 lanes, it's always important to get
Right,
that median in.
right.
Okay, well, great. All right, well, we are so close to finally being able to drive on it. I think I want to be the first one to drive on it.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
All right, thank you very much for your update today.
Yeah, thank you.
We are out on 11th Street and Dakota Avenue. We have our traffic engineer, Heath Hofteaser. Heath, we have some new traffic devices going out here. What's going on?
So at this location, we just finished installing some back-in angle parking.
And why would we try that?
Well, for a couple of different reasons. Here at this particular location, it's right by MB, and they have a lot of, in the mornings and the afternoons, for their daycare, they have a lot of drop-offs and pickups. And so one of the things they want to do is add more stalls in this area potentially, which this did increase the number of parking stalls that are in this area. And then along with that, now when you open up your door, there's a straight path from the door to the sidewalk. So when you're getting your kids, it kind of guides them going towards the sidewalk.
Great. So it's just a little different. You just got to drive by and then back in, right?
Yep.
All right. So how are they for bikes?
It's actually considered it's safer than regular diagonal parking for bikes, and the idea behind that is that when you're parking, you see your surroundings as you're pulling up to the spot and then backing in, and then when you're leaving, you have a very good visual field of what you see. So if a bike was coming, you would see them. Where a regular diagonal parking spot, it's real safe when you pull into the spot, but when you back out, you don't have a very good visual field of if a bike was coming or not. So it is safer for bikes.
And we do have Dakota is one of our Sharrows that we have Sharrows on the street.
It
right?
is a Sharrow route for bikes.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
Well, is there anything else you want to tell our drivers about the stalls?
They're actually fairly spacious, so if you want to come and give it a try backing in, I think you'll be surprised at how easy it can be done. So.
Excellent, wonderful. Well, certainly Sioux Falls, come out and try it out. Well, that does it for another Public Works update. For any project update, please go to siouxfalls.org/street construction. And remember, when you're driving through those construction zones, please give those drivers a break. Those construction zones, there are people working, and we want to make sure to give them a safe environment. And as you're driving through zones, please, if there's a signed detour route, please adhere to the detours. Those neighborhoods that are adjacent to construction sites, they already have extra noise and extra dust. They don't need speeders driving through their neighborhoods. So please keep our work zones safe, Sioux Falls.